Today's episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. My guests don't just come to DRL for me. They also come for the cocktails. Luckily, my friends at Hella Cocktail Company have my back. These guys make amazing mixes, from Bloody Mary to Margarita to Moscow Mule. They also make cocktail bitters, my secret ingredient, and now yours too. It's easy to feel like the best bartender in town when every bottle comes with a simple recipe on it. Hella Cocktail Company, bold flavor, real ingredients, hospitality. Mixing it up since 2011. Shop the collection on Amazon Prime or use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tanisha Wood. So today I have Renata and Chris with me, and they have a really great story. So they met over quarantine, and you guys remember, I have been telling you all quarantine that you can totally meet somebody online. Right now is the time because, all you can do is really talk and get to know somebody on a deeper level. So when I saw their story, I was like, I got to have them on. So welcome, Renata and Chris. How are you guys?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having us.
So how long have you guys been together now?
Well, officially together, I would say he officially asked me out. It would be a month, but we have been talking for 6 months.
So tell me about how you guys met and how that all started.
So, of course, you're home, you're browsing around Facebook. I just kept seeing this woman like posting her stories constantly all the time. I'm like, who is this woman? I say, oh my goodness. It's like, she's so gorgeous. And I'm just hitting the like button, the love. I'm just going crazy with the love, unlimited. On every single story, I'm just going and going and going. And then I see her Facebook feed is going up. I'm hitting like, I might do a comment or so. And then all of a sudden, after I say probably like maybe after a week or two, maybe she was paying attention. And she hits me in the Facebook Messenger and was like, okay.
DM. I hit him in the DM.
So you hit him in the DM.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because I was wondering, who is this man? Everything. I could post a fork. He would love it. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I went to his profile and I couldn't see his face because he had his head tilted down. And I was like, well, he doesn't look that ugly. So let me just see what it's about. And then I hit him in the DM and I said, hey, thank you so much for all the love that you showed me.
And she said, I see you. And I was like, okay, I see you too.
And I said, okay.
And she was like, okay. And then it just started moving forward from there, where it was like a little small talk. I think the next time she reached out, she mentioned something about, because I'm from Miami. Mm-hmm. So she mentioned something about, some about Miami guys or like their dogs or something to that nature.
Miami is like the worst. I'm not from Florida. So Miami is probably like one of the worst places to date when you're independent Black woman and your focus. It's hard to find a man here in Florida. That's just the facts. So I'm from up north. So, moving here was an adjustment. And then I'm like, oh, I'm over dating. I was divorced for like 5 years. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to be out in these streets and hot girl summer type vibe. And then COVID happened. And then I went into his DM and I was just like, oh my gosh.
Now, when you messaged him, Renata, after he was showing all that love, like in your photos and stories and all that, when you messaged him, were you thinking this could be something, or were you just like, I guess he liked all that, I should at least acknowledge him?
I'm a very upreal and transparent person. I was seeing someone at the time, a dead end situation. We'll leave it at that. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, hello, like, if not, we could be friends, him, Chris and I. And then on top of that, he was in a fraternity. So I was like, okay, I'm familiar with that fraternity. They're cool. Like, let's just vibe and see. So I really was strictly thinking friendship, like 100% friendship at first. And he had things he was dealing with. So I think we just entered in as, oh, we can be friends, like a good friend to talk to during this crazy time.
Until she decided to group all Miami dudes into a category.
He was like, no, you're not
going to do
that.
So I say, so you just going to group us all in the category? We're not all like that. That's when the conversation started fully just off of that. And I was like, okay, well, now we're communicating about how different a person can be. And, this is who I am. This is my goals. This is what I like. These are my expectations, and we just kept going back and forth. And I guess she started to listen.
He was talking different. He was talking different. I think that was one of the things I was like, okay. But again, he still had his baggage. So I said at that point, I was like, you know what?
By baggage, you mean like, were you also seeing somebody at the time, or what?
I was
baggage?
He was getting over ex.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It was a toxic breakup.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
healing.
Okay, and we all need to take that time, I think. I think that's important after something like that happens, where you just take a second to figure yourself out, recalibrate, figure out what you did right, what you did wrong, so that you don't repeat anything in the next thing.
Right. And I think at that point I said, just me being almost 40, I was like, you know what? He needs a friend. He doesn't need anyone trying to holler. I can't see him anyway because it's COVID. I don't know him like that. So let me just develop this friendship and see where his mind's at. So at least out of it, we can be great friends.
A lot of communication, we were just very transparent with each other. We were open. Like there was no room to leave nothing out. It was just like, these are my feelings. She shared her feelings, and we just kept it like that. And to this day, that's what we do. Yeah, we don't leave nothing from each other, no matter if it hurts or not. We say it, and we talk about it and get through it.
Mm-hmm.
So how soon into you guys talking did feelings start to develop into, well, maybe this is more romantic. Maybe it's more than a friendship.
Let's say about a month in, because we started finally video chatting. Mm-hmm. And we were able to see each other. And now, when we first video chat, it was almost like a speechless chat, because we were looking at each other, just gazing like, whoa, like, you're really beautiful. Like, you're really real. And we would just smile, but we would talk, but we just smile at each other, and we just kept doing it. And we would really talk about real life events, what we're going through.
Past relationships, which is important.
Who we're trying to become. She knew there was a lot of growth coming from me. I felt it because I spoke differently. I spoke with attention to her. So she understood. She was like, okay, yeah, this man, he's not messing around. He ain't playing no games. He knows what woman he's looking for, and I found her.
But I also knew that he may have felt that he found me, but he wasn't ready. So I was ending my situation because, again, it was never going anywhere. Once I ended my situation, we would talk on the phone for 3 to 4 hours. And mind you, we both pushed each other away. We both tried to push each other away during the friendship phase. Like, I remember being like, I'm not going to talk to him all day. That's it. Like, I can't, I'm not ready for this. Like, God, I know I pray for a good man, but I'm not ready for this. He's not ready. I would literally try not to talk to him all day. And by like 5 o'clock, we would be on the phone to like 9. So I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to talk to you today. And then that was everyday thing, like 3 to 4 hours, you know, talking about everything. And we weren't bored. We were just talking and talking. And I think May 9th, we met officially for the first time. Mm-hmm. And so from March to May 9th, we were like, nope.
Why didn't you guys meet before then? I mean, in a socially distant, safe sort of way, but why not meet, since you guys do live, within proximity?
I didn't want to, because I love the fact that we were getting each other without sex, without connection, like that type of physical connection. I love the fact that he was stimulating my mind, and I was afraid. Prior to this, I will say that I said, listen, I'm falling for you. And this is without meeting. And then he said, I'm falling for you too. And I said, oh, okay. And then, Mother's Day weekend, we decided to just do it. Let's just meet.
What was that first meeting like? Because you've been talking all this time, you feel like you really know somebody. And that's sort of the moment or truth where it's like, it could have gone either way. Like, you could meet and it's like, oh my God, he is everything. Or you could have met and you're like, I don't feel it in person, So how was that first meeting?
Listen, it was that night. I walked outside. She got out the car and the sun was shining.
It was nighttime. He's so
the sun was shining. I was looking like, whoa, look at his. I was like, you're beautiful. I couldn't stop telling her that the whole time. I said, you're beautiful. And she just smiled like as bright as it could be. We just sat there and looked at each other. I was like, keep your mask
on. I'm funny. I'm a jokester. So I'm like, keep your mask on. He was like, okay. And then we just kind of just went for it. And I took my mask off. He took his mask off, and we kissed for the first time. And it was everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The look on both your faces when you said that, you're like, yeah, it was magic. Yeah, she's right.
Like literally, like when you're growing up, and I think you can relate to this as a woman, like when you're growing up and you hear people talk about when they find the one or when the one finds you or when you have that magical kiss, and we've kissed a lot of frogs, right? As a woman, you can admit that. And you thought they were the one, but when it's really the one, like sent from God, like it is magical. And it's different. It just different. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like it's different. I cannot explain it. When people say, well, how could you fall in love? How could you guys be in love? Because we developed and we built that foundation. We talked about love languages. We are very into like, we're going to do this right. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
I love that.
And it was deeper. Like we weren't, the typical dating. What is your favorite color?
Because who cares?
No one cares.
It was, how are you with family? Do you like to travel?
Do you want more kids?
Do you want more?
We don't. Right?
If you're going to be somebody, I'm going to choose for the rest of my life, I want to know about the real thing. How are your finances, what's your credit like?
Yeah. We had those conversations.
How can I help you with your credit? It's those kind of things.
Yes. I'm loving this because I think like that's the problem with relationships now. You get in, you sort of put your good face on and you talk about the pleasantries and, everything you're kikiing about stuff nobody really cares about. And then the real stuff doesn't come till later on when you're in the relationship and you're deep in it. And then it's like, you've never had a conversation about finances and y'all have been dating for a year now. You've never had a conversation about what your love language is and how you need to be loved. Like it's too late. And then people start, of course, getting disappointed because they're like, oh, well, this isn't who I thought you were. And it's like, well, you never had those conversations. So how would you actually know? Whereas what I like about this situation is when you guys are talking, first of all, that's all there is. It takes out the physical is gone. So that's not like changing any feelings, minds or hearts. Like you're not clouded by that, but you're having these real conversations about like, who are you actually and who am I actually? And do those things mesh together? So kudos to you guys. I love it.
It's crazy because we both have been in the same places in our 20s and 30s and we never met. We just were not meant to see each other at that time. Like we literally met at the exact right time. And yes, people were hurt, you got to break people, especially now it's like, okay, well, I'll never be able to be with Renata again. No. And you'll never be able to be with Chris again because now they have found each other and it's okay. Like, we know that we've done everything right. We've had the proper conversations with everyone that we needed to. My family loves him. I met his mother. And of course, COVID makes it hard because, I can't meet all his family. They're all here in Florida. But he was able to meet my mom and stepfather. He met my daughter. He met my other parents, my dad and my stepmom through Zoom, my sister through Zoom. Like everyone is just falling in love. Like they love him more than I love me. I'm like, they're making me like, listen, I know I haven't had a man in 5 years, but everyone calm down. Don't scare him off.
She has a beautiful family.
But the one thing that I will say that really, to me, sealed the deal was he asked me out. Throughout, I would say April, May, June, he was like, yeah, you're mine. Like, we're together. I'm like, no, we're not. You did not ask me out. Like, I'm very traditional. I need you to say, Renata, do you want to be with me? Like, I need to hear those. I'm not going to assume.
I need to put a date in my journal.
Right.
So let me tell you what I did. I say, I want to meet your mom and your dad. So she set it up. And it was like, okay, we'll like to meet them and everything. So when we get there, we having casual conversation with mom and everything. And then finally, when it was all said and done, I said, Mom, can Renata be my girlfriend? She's like, well, you're 40 and this and that. And, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I just wanted to make sure I got your blessing first before that. She's like, thank you. So then I turn to Renata and I say, can you be mine now?
I say, yes.
So I asked her then to be my girlfriend. So she didn't know, she didn't believe that she was my girlfriend at that time. I asked her right there in front of mom. So I waited to meet the parents first, asked for their blessing.
That's so cute.
I know. I was like, thank you. I need that.
Renata, you have a daughter. Chris, do you have kids?
Yes.
Okay. And have the children met? Have you met each other's children? Like, how is that part all meshing?
Well, my youngest daughter met her daughter. My other two kids, they're in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So we were hoping to get them here, but because of COVID, so hopefully next summer this can happen. And if all else fails, we'll just ride up to Baltimore.
Were your kids a little bit like, what's going on? This is fast.
Since I'm a mom, I'm like, okay, Let's have the conversations first. You talk to the mothers, you talk to the children first, and then bring me on. Because I know kids can get a little funny. My daughter was like, Mom, you need to get a boyfriend. Like, I need a boyfriend. Like, Mom, she loves it. She's like, oh my gosh, Mommy's in love. Like, she loves Mr. Chris. And she just absolutely loves this idea of us being a family. Just a few times that he's been here and just been interactive with her, like you could just see a difference. And my ex-husband has met him and is cool with it. So, he's moved on, of course, has his own family now, but it's just, everything is aligning. Everything is going well.
Was there any apprehension on your part, Renata, with him having a young child? When I met my boyfriend, his daughter was 2, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember my little brother said to me, she's still like hot. Like she just came out the oven. Like, are you sure? But because of who he was, like I was very sure, but my first instinct when he first told me we did know each other well, I was like 2.
Right. So that was, I had the same, and it wasn't a negative reaction. It was just like, cause in my mind, again, hot girl summer, right? Me and my best friend, we hot, we older women, we look good, we like in these streets. So I was like, I'm not having any more kids. Whoever I meet needs to understand that. And then God sends me my man, and he has almost a 2-year-old who's in diapers, right? So we were like, we ain't changing no diapers. And then I met a man and I'm changing diapers. I thought that would be a deal breaker for me. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you this man, like he could have 20 kids. It didn't matter. This is my man. Like, this is my husband. And when I met her, she just came to me. And the backstory, I understood. So I was like, okay, I'm not tripping off of this. This is doable. We had her all weekend. And it's just, it was cool. Like, we did our thing. We went here. We were able to have a date night, movie night in between all of that. So, yeah, And
usually we're protective of our kids, so we don't want to, like, bring a person around. But
right.
After the long conversations and really getting to know the deeper side of who Renata is, I knew she was a mother first, and I wouldn't have had to worry about anything, when it came to that. And part of me, and probably for many men, being at this age and you having a young one, we're scared to go out and date because of the rejection. We already know, like, most times we're going to feel that deal breaker come on because we now have to tell it. And that's the reason why I want more men. Just tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And if she's okay with it, that might be the one for you. But if you don't say anything, then you will never know. You can't admit that you got a little one, and you still got to take care of your child. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of, are you going to find love while you have the little one? And I guess that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, I got this little one. I'm 40, man. Ain't nobody going to want me. So you kind of don't want to put yourself out there. So when this happened, I was like, well, you better tell about all your kids right now.
Oh, yeah, he did. He broke each one down, how they got here, the relationship. And I was like, okay, well, all right then. And it still didn't turn me off. It didn't say, it wasn't like a sigh. It was like, okay.
It takes a special kind of woman to be able to work with a man in this situation. That was the first thing she put out there. Okay, well, don't worry about it. We gonna be all right. We'll make sure she okay. We. And I'm just like, okay. All right, I'm gonna test you on that.
And he has. Have I passed?
Yeah, she has.
Because I look at us as a we, so let's figure this out together.
In no relationship I've been in, I heard a woman say we, and it was
really?
Never.
That's what he said, Chad. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. We got this. Don't worry about it. We will drive up. Don't worry about it. I was like, I'm not used to this. Wait a minute. Hold up. I got to take it in because I don't hear this. So now I used to ask the question, well, who are you? Like, where did you come from? Like, I don't get this. Like, bring the toxic back. That's what I'm used to. You know what I mean?
Used to. Isn't that crazy? When you're used to, like, arguing every day, you're like, wait a minute. And I think we had this discussion last night. I'm like, I know it's weird. I know it's kind of hard to believe that you can be with someone and not argue every day. We can talk through things. Be happy, because relationships really are supposed to be easy.
Yep. It's work, but it's work you like doing. It's good.
Right. Absolutely. See, I like that. Yeah, it's work that you like to do. It's work. Learning each other, making sure that we're on the same page daily. But we communicate. He's literally handed me his phone and said, here.
I love that.
Literally.
Yeah.
Listen, girl, I was like, okay, because you don't have to tell me. I was like, listen.
nothing to hide. Because she's looking at me like, you're giving me your phone? I was like,
and I'm not the girl like, okay, no.
Take it. You want a password too?
You
want a thumbprint on it?
Listen, I was like this the whole time.
I'm literally scrolling through messages. I just want to
see, like,
through messages, and she like, you literally having me look at you while you going through your mouth and say,
because you know how guys are.
It's right here in front of you.
Guys put the phone down. That's just how we as humans work, because I don't know why we're hiding, but you put the phone face down, or you do things that are like a little questionable, and he didn't do that. He would answer his phone in front of me. He would say, "Hey, babe, answer my phone," or look who's called, who just called me. And I was like, and then he was like, "Hey, look through my DMs. What did she say? Respond or whatever. What did they say?" So I was like,
we are one. There is nothing that is happening in my life that you don't or can't know.
Right.
I'm not trying to be hidden, nor do I want to.
It's too much work. That's too much work. That's the part that's work.
Yeah, it's too much work.
Do you guys think it made a big difference in not being able to see each other physically? Like, do you think things would have been different had you, met out at a bar around the same time?
It would have been the typical, let's go out to eat.
The conversation wouldn't have been there. It would have been there, but it wouldn't have been deep. I mean, when I tell you this man gave me A through Z, and a lot of women probably would have walked away. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. And then I would give him, and he was like, okay. And I think if the world was open and it was a BAU type of world, we would have dated. I think we still would have been in the same place. It just would have been different dynamics. It would have taken us longer to get here.
The thing is, men are afraid to talk. They'll probably shut down and hide more than anything. And for me, it was like, here's me on the table. You choose me, you choose me. If you don't, you don't. I'll keep dating. I'll keep looking for that one. But when I spoke to her and she was taking it in, like, okay, I'm like, you still haven't run yet? Okay, well, let's keep going and let's see where it goes from there. And she was with me. I'm not saying I had a lot of bad things that she had to really worry about, but
everybody has their stuff.
Yeah, but exactly, your stuff. I like that word.
I might have been too much to handle for Minnie, and she was okay, and I was like, all right, she's here, and we were working through it.
Now, Chris, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that he talks about, and this is why I want to tell women, like, he talks about marriage, if not the same, if not more than I do. He talks about me being his person, his one. You will be my wife. More than I do. And I think that that's definitely a great sign for any woman. We're all the ones, we want this, we want that. And I've been married before and he hasn't. So, I mean, he's been engaged before, but he hasn't been married. So for him to be vocal about that and to tell my mom, like, I just wanted to meet this beautiful woman that made this woman. I'm like, well, so, I mean, it's just great to hear that from a man.
Yeah, because it shouldn't be a one-sided thing. I don't like it when women are like, oh, I want to marry him. I'm like, well, does he want to marry you? Like, you shouldn't have to force a man to strong arm and ultimatum. And if he wants it, if a man wants something, he goes after it, period, point blank.
Yes.
So, Chris, for you have said that, men typically have a lot of trouble opening up on this level. What was it that made you open up so quickly where you typically might not have in the past?
Well, it was... She doesn't have this selfish mindset. I mean, she was very welcoming. She expressed like, you can talk to me about anything. And most women will say that and use that material against you. But somehow I just felt it that I could speak to her and I wouldn't be judged by any of the information that I'm delivering. So regardless, it was like I said, I still had the mindset of, if I'm looking for that woman, then I'm going to share what I need to share with you. And if this is what you want and this is what's coming with me and you okay with that, then all right, we can keep talking, we can continue to move forward. But if you object to anything, we can either talk about it or you can make a decision to walk away. She didn't. So I just, like I said, me being open is just so that you understand what my expectations are, and this so you can decide. Because the thing is, you can't decide for a woman. When you sit there and decide for her, then you're not being open and trustworthy. You're already telling a lie from the beginning. And sometimes the omission of information is still a lie too.
100%.
So you don't want to omit anything, and we be too afraid to lose somebody by saying it, when sometimes you got to think about the value you have in yourself. If you giving this information and she chooses not to be with you, okay, then she wasn't for you. Accept that and keep it moving. You don't have to keep, oh, she's beautiful. Oh, I want to be, and you're thinking the wrong way. If this, you're actually genuinely looking for someone, don't go leaving stuff out. Just put it out there, and y'all are either going to work through it or it's not for you. There's somebody out there that's for you, and they'll take it in and be like, okay.
You know. And I 100% agree with what you said about giving somebody the ability to make the decision, right? Like when you lie, you're taking that ability away from them because they don't have all the right information to even make the decision. Right. And then you're not authentically being yourself. So really, what are they choosing?
In my life, when it came to relationship, I've always chosen the wrong person. Whether that person had someone else or whatever that was, it was always I chose the wrong person. And then I was like, I'm choosing me. I'm being selfish because I know I deserve a chance of getting to know this man 100%. And I think he appreciated the fact that I wasn't lying about anything. I was honest with him. And
but she was more scared that maybe I was going to go the other way because she had a situation. And I'm like, I'm Baines. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm confident.
Listen, he was like,
I'm not worried about the next thing.
I'm like,
because the thing is, if I'm showing up and I'm being 100 with you and whatever you told me about this person, she didn't really talk too much about him because, I didn't want the bad taste or whatever. It's like, I wasn't really worried about that conversation. It was more or less, I'm going to be who I am in front of you. And if you decide to go and be with that person, that's cool. It will be your loss. I'm not losing anything because I was 100 with you the whole time. So I'm not worried about the next man because I know who I am to you right now.
Ooh,
you know who he is. So I never brought him up. I never asked like, okay, where's he at or nothing like that.
He never ever did.
Not even a conversation.
Okay, Renata, how did he take it when you were like, yeah, so you're cool, but I met the guy.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was that conversation. And he always told me that he knew he could not give me what I needed. So it was more of me just being in a comfortable situation. And he said, when you do meet that person, let me know. And then we'll just end up being friends.
Well, that was mature.
No. He definitely was mature about it to a point to when, we start posting pics and then it's like, okay, you know how men are. But men will put them up front. Yeah. Men and women, it's like, okay, cool. You can go on about your life. And then it's like, they see who I'm going. It's like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. But no, he was very mature about it.
I'm glad everybody, was mature. Sometimes it sucks that some hearts have to be broken, but when it's the one, it's the one.
Right.
Nah, it's true. And you can't get away from
somebody gonna get hurt.
Somebody's always gonna get hurt. And that's because you're choosing yourself before anything. When you know it's right, it's right. When you know that situation isn't the best for you, somebody's gonna get hurt, whether I'm the one being hurt because I actually have to let you go, or the person on the other end is being hurt because they were let go. Either way it goes, somebody's gonna get hurt. And it could either be a bad hurt to where y'all going back and forth, or it's going to be a mature hurt where you're just going to go off and just say, okay, accept it, deal with it, and then move on. So it's just all about how you do it. And it wasn't like, oh, I just found out about this. No, she was in communication with him and she expressed that to him. So he was aware what was going on. So it was for him to, deal with it how he had to deal with it at that point.
It sounds like both of you were at a place in your life where you've been through relationships that didn't work. You're in your early 40s. And at that point, things can get to feeling like a little hopeless sometimes, right? Where it's like, is there even anybody out there, right? So what advice would you give to people that might be at that place right now?
I would say don't stop trying at all. Never give up on it. Always know that there's somebody, but sometimes you can't shut everybody down because that's what you do. It's a default to shut it down because you think it's the same situation. I think you just have to have the conversation. You just have the real conversations.
As a woman, we need to understand that no man is perfect. Every woman has to come with stuff. Every man's going to come with stuff. So you have to really make that choice, especially being older. As you get older, there are going to be things that you're going to have to deal with. It's hard to find someone who doesn't have a child at this age. And when you do, you're kind of looking at them, you're 40-something, you ain't got no child. Like, what? It's kind of like a taboo for a man not to have it. You're like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? But, I mean, I just tell women out there, give a man a chance and look at the red flags and see those red flags immediately. And also set your expectations. I had never in any relationship set my expectations from the beginning. There was one time where he was like, he gets in a groove where when he's working, everything, like he blanks out and he could go for hours not checking in. And we were friends, but I called him out on it and I said, hey, just to let you know. And I was scared at first. I was like, Renata, if you send this, he may leave you alone or he may not. I said, but I'm gonna send it anyway.
He wasn't for you.
I said, hey, exactly. I said, let me just let you know. I don't know if you're aware, but you see, I'm on a no call, no show basis. So if you spend the whole day without contacting me, I'm going to assume that you are terminating your our conversations. And that, so just remember, I'm on a no call, no show. I ain't nobody that busy. You're not Barack Obama. If he can call Michelle, you have the time to send me a text. And he was like, okay, you're right. And he changed immediately.
You do have to say what you want. I think a lot of the times, particularly women, get in this place where we sort of expect that a man knows our expectations without ever communicating them, right? Because we think like, of course he knows he should call me. Why? How does he not know that? Well, maybe the other woman that he was with before didn't expect that. So it wasn't a thought for him. All sorts of factors can go into that. But even if we think something is so obvious, it's really important to express it. Be bold about it. Be clear about it.
For me, because I enjoyed her company and her conversation, it was like, okay, let me pay a little bit more attention. Because I could have been a dude like, what? You coming at me? Psh, I'm not going to talk to you no more. And that mean it wasn't real. But most men won't even be like, okay, well, isn't this the person that you wanted? Why are you shutting her down? So she said, and I was like, all right, let me go ahead and correct that. She's right. And every day moving forward, I made sure, hey, I'm busy, but I just want to make sure you're okay. Are you okay over there? And, I just kept going. And then before you know it, I even get on the phone. Hey, just wanted to call you. I had a few minutes. You all right? What's going on with your day? You need anything? Okay, hang up. And then I'll keep working. One thing about this, I'm changing to deserve her. Bottom line, I'm changing to deserve her because I know the type of woman she is. And I definitely don't ever want to lose that because a lot of men don't get it. And she's selfless. She ain't selfish at all. And she just makes sure that I'm okay. She's always asking, you okay? You need anything? And I'm still to this day looking at her like, who are you? I hate to say, like, you sit back, it's like, man, where's the argument? Like, I'm waiting, but it's not coming.
And there have been times where I could have, the old Renata probably would have had an argument. But I see that person and I say, no, let's do something different, Renata. It's like something clicks. Okay, let's talk. That bothered me. Why were you doing that? Explain to me so I can understand where you're coming from. He will explain, we talk it through, and then it's done.
And you have to have the conversation. And we're so busy arguing and being on the defensive in relationships when sometimes it's just a conversation.
I think sometimes too in relationships when maybe you haven't been in great relationships, you get used to the toxic nature of it and the drama of it. And so sometimes when you get into something where it's not that, it's surprising. And then you almost wonder like, is there something wrong because you're so used to this like reaction and drama? Sometimes we can mistake that sort of drama for love and passion. When it's just like, no, that's just toxic drama. But it can disguise itself as like, I'm so mad because I love you. And it's like, nah, you just don't know how to control your emotions. Be an adult. And I love this. Like, I really do love this union. And like I said, your story it's really amazing. And I think it gives people hope that your person is out there. The timing is not always up to you though. I think That's the one part. We want our person. We want that person to be delivered now. But if that person is not delivered now, it could be because you're not ready now.
That's what I just want many people out there to understand. They think it's like it's some time frame on love. Mm-mm. Like you have to be together 6 months. Like says who? You have to be together a year before you can actually love a person. Says who? If that's what you're feeling and that's what's in you, to say, just say it. There's nothing wrong with expressing it if that's how you feel. She wasn't afraid. She just told me. And I was like, wow. And I was like, it's crazy how I felt the same way, but I was afraid to tell you because I didn't want you to feel like, I'm coming too fast on how I'm feeling. But that was just what I've been going through throughout the decades of my years of being in relationships. It was always like it was some type of time frame as to when you're supposed to fall in love. It's not. Mm-mm. It's not. If you're feeling the person and you're genuinely connected, and that's what it is, and that's what that is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. There's no rules on the heart.
It ain't. Not at all.
It really isn't. And I'm just happy I found my person.
Yeah.
So what is next for you guys?
Marriage.
Girl, get your outfit ready. Get your mask.
Waiting on my invite. Yeah.
Right. Get your mask ready, girl.
Yeah. That's what it is. I don't care. We got to go to the courthouse. Hey, courthouse papers. We'll worry about it later on. But yeah, that's what we're moving into. I mean, we're still going to continue to get to know each other even deeper than we do. You know what I mean? Because this is a forever. And it's not really about, I mean, loving is one thing, but liking is another thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what my dad told him. My dad is like, my dad's been married for like 30 years. He was like, you gotta like the person, because when there's hard times, love won't get you through them hard times. You have to genuinely like being around that person. So I've kind of always kept that in the back of my head. And he told Chris the same thing. And I told Chris, I was like, I want you to genuinely like me. I'm still in my head looking at you like, what planet you came from again? I'm still saying that because you don't exist in this world of mine. Like, for real, I've never seen you before, but I'm glad you're here.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on today and sharing this story. I think more of this is needed, and I love the foundation that you guys have built around just being clear on who you are and what you want and constantly communicating that and being upfront about it. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you guys. I'm looking forward to the wedding. Where can people reach you guys? So you can see me reach me at Rebella Mac on IG or Coach Ray TZF. And mine is Beast Fit Baines on IG. Or you can just see me on Facebook. It's Christopher Baines. Yeah. You'll see it. You might see the Q sign in the middle because I'm an Omega. So just put Christopher Baines, I'll pop up. Awesome. And please reach out to me at Tanisha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and let me know what you think of today's show. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.